To inspect the wheels and brake system and perform a tire rotation on your RZR Trail, follow these steps. Take a close look at each tire. Verify there is sufficient tread depth. Tires should be replaced once they reach 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters of tread depth. Inspect for damage that may compromise the integrity of the tire. Next, inspect the tire pressure and verify it is set to specification. Reference the owner's manual or tire pressure label on your vehicle for the correct specification. Lastly, take a close look at how the tires are wearing. If there is irregular wear, it may be time for a rotation. Next, remove the tires from the vehicle. Begin by loosening the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground, but do not remove at this time. Then, safely elevate the vehicle. Refer to your owner's manual for proper lifting techniques. Once safely elevated, remove the lug nuts and set aside. Then, remove the wheels and set aside. Next, inspect the fluid level and condition in the master cylinder, located in the right front wheel well. Ensure the level is between the min and max marks. If it is low, clean around the cap and add fluid as necessary from a new and unopened bottle. Do not allow brake fluid to contact painted surfaces, or paint damage may occur. Next, inspect the banjo bolts on the right side of the master cylinder for leaks. A mirror and flashlight can be used to help see the bolts. Then, follow the lines all the way to the front calipers, looking for any leaks, kinks, or damage. Also, ensure the brake line retainers are properly secured. Inspect the connections at the front brake calipers for leaks. Next, follow the brake lines back to the rear of the vehicle, checking for leaks, kinks, and damage. Inspect the connections at the junction block in the driver's rear wheel well for leaks. Then, follow the brake line to the rear brake calipers, looking for leaks, kinks, and damage. Also, ensure the brake line retainers are properly secured. Inspect the rear brake calipers and connections for leaks. If inspection reveals any concerns, do not attempt to drive the vehicle. See your authorized Polaris Service Center. Next, take a look at the brake pads and rotors. Always allow the brakes to cool completely before inspecting to prevent the risk of burns. Check the brake pad thickness using a suitable tool. Be sure to check the thickness on the inside of the pads as well and replace any brake pads that are worn beyond their minimum thickness. Next, use a brake rotor measuring tool to measure the thickness of the brake rotors, and replace the rotors if they are worn below the minimum thickness. Once the brake system inspection has been completed, the tires can be rotated and reinstalled. Due to different configurations, some wheels may not be able to be rotated. Always pay attention to all markings and directional indicators on the tires. Rotate the wheels as needed based on wheel configuration. Then, install the wheels on the vehicle and tighten the lug nuts until fully seated. Safely lower the vehicle until the tires begin to touch the ground. This will help keep the wheels in place when torquing. Once lowered, torque the lug nuts to specification in a crisscross pattern. Finally, lower the vehicle completely. For more information, see your authorized Polaris dealer or visit polaris.com.